What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're not going to be doing any fishing. I think the last productive fishing we've had was probably 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half. But it's still really cold. We just had a 70-degree day 2 days ago, and today it's 35. So that's just how it is. We couldn't go fishing when it was 70 because, well, I have to work, so. But I think the plan is today, instead of fishing, we're gonna do some scouting for some campsites. We're actually up on the more northern part of the lake now. We put in that a different boat ramp, and we're just idling out from the no wake zone right now. So we're gonna do some scouting for campsites and see some other islands that we've never really been to before. And after we find one, we'll just beach the boat and make something to eat real quick after we get a fire going. So let's get to it. The reason we're scouting is because we don't have a keel guard on this boat because there's a chine coming up from the keel within like 2 inches of the keel. So I don't really think a keel guard will actually stick to it very well. So we can only pull up on shorelines that are nice and soft, not real rocky stuff. So, but man, that was a cold ride here. It's like 35 degrees. This is crap. I would not recommend. I mean, if the mats are that far down, I guess people camp here in the winter.
Yeah. Maybe.
Be on the lookout for rocks. It's still 6 feet here, so.
I don't know how we would.
Do you see rocks?
No, there's more that
Oh,
way.
there's a bunch of rocks over there.
But this looks okay.
Oh, it's clear. Wow, you can see like, oh, everything.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, this is all what you saw.
Oh, that's really nice. Yes, perfect. Okay. Okay.
Oh my gosh, honey, my shoes didn't even get wet from you spraying them.
We got some waterproofing spray because, well, this jacket was all worn off. I took it fishing in the snow the other day and it was just soaking wet. So I finally waterproofed some things and I went to town on stuff. But anyway, this water is lower than we've ever seen it. It's, I'm not sure how much below summer pool it is, but you can see everything. It hasn't rained in 2 weeks and the water's crazy clear. So it's pretty cool to see all this. But in the summer, we're just kind of looking to see if we can still pull up. And actually here it looks pretty good because that stump's deep enough that you won't hit it. The rocks are low and you can pull up right here.
Because the water is up here.
Yeah, because the water is right up here about, well, where this hump is and above. So you can tie up to a tree and here you are. Anyway, and we brought trash bags today too, so we can haul out a whole bunch. So,
this is a nice sight.
This is a really cool spot though, yeah. There's no color here because it's the winter, but in the summer I'm sure it'll look better. Yeah, we haven't uploaded the video in a while because Ash and I, well, the first weekend the fish didn't cooperate. Second weekend, Ash and I didn't cooperate, and we both got sick, and we're still coughing from it. But hopefully next week it will get better. But we can still come out and do stuff this weekend. We're still feeling pretty good overall. Okay, well, it's good here, we know, so let's move on and try Island 2. It's okay, it's pretty much stuck.
I guess you can get on.
I can get on, I don't get all dirty. It's weird, you can see like 3 feet deep, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for this lake, it's a ton.
Okay.
It was close. It hit again when you jumped on it. Okay. I'm just amazed at how clear it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and now it's not.
Well.
Oh, okay. We can see the bottom now. Do you see any rocks?
No.
Okay.
No, this is like all silt.
Nice. Oh. Well, that didn't work. It got too shallow too fast and we were too far. We couldn't even get off. There's also these green signs up on it that we can't read from here, unfortunately. But, I don't know. We'll have to find a new spot for now. Huh. But the forest is super dense here, unlike a lot of these other islands where it's all spread out. But yeah, this is really dense. A lot of, well, just a lot of big trees and brush. We moved down just, I don't know, 100 feet from that spot, and there's another, looks like one. I don't know if it's an actual campsite though, but we'll have to check it out. Sometimes people make their own even though they're not really supposed to. But I mean, that would be a great site in the summer if we could get to it, because it's just too shallow and we hit the ground.
And if those signs are saying...
And if the sign is not saying that it's not a campsite anymore, which is a possibility. Okay,
yeah.
6.5 feet. Oh yeah, there's a sign. Yes, this is a sweet site. It's a little rockier though. We'll slow down a little bit. Small rocks, but we can pull it between them. I think it should be just fine. Oh. Well, same thing.
Look how pretty this looks.
Yeah, it's nice. Ah, crap. At this point, we were both a little concerned because the boat was in gear at about 1,000 RPM and we still weren't moving. So the boat was stuck somewhere.
Oh, you're in the mud.
Where are we stuck? Okay, we're going. Not very fast, but... Just stalled. We found that around the prop. Thankfully, it wasn't really wrapped up in there, but I don't know if there is any wrapped up in there. We'll need to look at it before we take it out again. I'll have to take the prop off and check it out. It looks okay though. Well, we'll see. Nice, that's fine.
Okay.
I was able to find a whole bunch of dead sticks around to get the firewood together, and I actually found a dead cedar log sitting out in the woods that I peeled some bark off of, and we can hopefully make a bird's nest out of this and make fire a more proper way and make a bird's nest and use some char cloth to light that with the flint and steel. So we'll see how it goes. But I gotta go find some more of this because that's not enough to cook on. So this tree bark is really, really fibrous, and when you go back and forth like this with it, it pulls it apart and becomes even more fibrous, and you kind of bring those fibers out of it. So we're gonna do that with this whole stack right here that we were able to find, and kind of turn them into more of a round shape. Then after we light some char cloth with a flint and steel that we're gonna use today instead of a ferrocerium rod, put that in the middle, kind of close it off, and then blow on it until we get a flame. So that's what I'm gonna do here next. not exactly how I wanted it to be, but it's okay. It's a little bit harder than what I was intending. A lot of it's cracking, but it's okay. It should still work fine. Might not look like a bird's nest, but it should fire up just like one. It's not quite fibrous enough. It just kind of broke because it was too hard, but that should work just fine. Just use that pile right there. I'm just gonna lay some sticks down here as a base. That should be just fine. It's not really critical, but always helps. So this is our flint and steel kit. A char tin with some char cloth in it. I'll talk about that here in a second. Just a piece of metal, and then some flint. Just pretty much a rock that's hard enough to take metal off of a chunk of itself and turn into sparks. So all this char cloth is a piece of cotton shirt that I had cut up because it was an old shirt, and it's basically just like charcoal's made. You burn it without the presence of oxygen, and it's still flexible. It's kind of weird, but it kind of feels like charcoal at the same time, but it takes a spark really, really easily. So when I'm doing this, I'm gonna put it right on top of this rock, and then I'm just gonna take this piece of steel and go like that, and you can see it takes off very, very fine sparks. And this took a while to get down. I practiced for like 2 weeks just trying to get this right. But basically, once one of those sparks touches the char cloth, it'll start to burn. It doesn't catch on fire, but it just kind of creates a coal, and then you can blow on that until it gets big enough, put it in a tinder bundle, and then blow on it until it catches on fire. And then we will lay this bundle of sticks on top of it, and that should get our fire going here. So I'm gonna start this now. We got one. So here's what it looks like when it happens. It just starts to burn like that. Then when you blow on it, it just gets a little bigger. And we're gonna place that in our very loose tinder bundle here. So I'll place that in on top. Kind of bend it around. See some smoke coming off of it. And there we go, it's lit. Put that on there. That light a little more, it's having some trouble. There we go. Flint and steel is definitely much harder than the ferrocerium rod, though. It only lets off a couple of sparks, and they're not near as hot as the ferrocerium sparks, but it does work. But ultimately, it still does rely on a really good dry tinder source, though, like that char cloth. If I didn't have that, I don't think I'd be able to do it with any natural material. The ferrocerium rod, I could use to light up, you know, leaves and stuff that I could find outside, but not so much with the flint and steel. There we go. That was my first ever flint and steel fire, so that's pretty cool. A note about that char cloth though. The first time I didn't have anything that was 100% cotton. Well, I did, I just didn't know it. And I used something that was a cotton polyester blend, and it was only 10% polyester, but it worked, but not near as well as this. It took so much longer to get anything going on it. So when people say you have to use 100% cotton, they're right. I mean, you don't have to, but it won't work near as well. We got the tripod together, and not quite as sturdy as last time, but should be good enough for this. I didn't forget the grate this time either, so we can actually use it. But we just brought some stuff to make some breakfast sandwiches, because we had it from left over from on Saturday, so that's what we'll be making today. That was a lot of salt. Oh well.
It's so little.
I know, that shrunk a lot.
My smells good though. Good? Salty.
No. Yeah, mine tastes great.
You gave me the salty egg. We have a new addition to the channel.
We are very excited about the quadcopter. So it's a DJI F450, well, flame wheel F450, mostly home built. It's not one of the ones that you can buy off the shelf and just fly it that day. So the story about it is one of my friends from home, Martin, I was talking to him the other day, and because him and I used to always fly, this was his. We used to fly this. I had a helicopter and some planes and stuff. We always flew them in college, and I asked him, like, you know, hey, how much if I were to build the quadcopter that you had, you know, how much would that be today? And he said, well, I could just give you mine because I don't ever use it anymore. And so here it is. So a big thanks to Martin. This should make a lot of the shots out here pretty cool. The only problem is with this lake is that most of the lake is in controlled airspace, like FAA controlled airspace, because there are 2 airports on this lake. Well, not on it, but 2 airports close to this lake. So there's only a small section that we can actually fly this without getting other authorizations to fly it, and we are in that narrow section right now. That's part of the reason we wanted to come up to this section today, just because this is the area where we can fly it. I know right now it's kind of drab just because everything's brown, but come spring, fall, summer, it should be pretty cool. So, but again, big thanks to Martin. Just like half an hour ago, a TWRA officer pulls up and he asked us how many fish we caught, and I said we haven't really been doing much fishing today, and I said we haven't had a good day of fishing it in like a month, and he told us we didn't fish enough. Which might be the case, I guess, but come on.
All right, we also got this brand new backpack, which has come in handy because now we can just put everything in the backpack. We don't have to have like 5 bags of stuff. And so it's really nice to consolidate everything. It's heavy, but once it's on, pretty 60 is pretty light. So
1 bag now, not 10.
1 bag. So we just have to throw it off the boat. And that's all we have to do, which is nice. We don't have to have a assembly line of bag handing.
Okay, we were able to get 1 bag of trash. I only brought 1 trash bag actually, but still, we cleaned up the immediate area of all the stuff that we could. So now it looks a bit better at least. So, all right, well, let's load up. Well, we're just idling back right now. We have about a mile boat ride back to the ramp that we put in, but I'd say as it was a successful day. Fire's out, camp's cleaned up, and no more trash, so it's good. But anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Like and subscribe.
And do that also.